God, the mighty and mysterious entity, has become the center of attention since being revealed. The true nature of God remains an enigma difficult to comprehend. To what extent does his absolute power reach? If he had to face Saitama directly, what would the outcome be? Most importantly, what is the ultimate goal that God is aiming for when he scatters his power across the world to seek out worthy individuals to execute his will? From Homeless Emperor, Psykos, Garou to recently Void, they are all just pawns in his hands, with a plot yet to be fully unraveled. Let's explore the true purpose behind God's actions with Ackerman Recap. First, when discussing God's plan, let's look into the known information about this mysterious entity. Regarding the name God, we learn about it through characters like Homeless Emperor, Psykos, or the top-ranked S-class hero Blast. However, what we know is only the name, while God's true nature remains a great enigma. God has the ability to bestow his power upon those he deems worthy through a mysterious cube. Those whom he does not recognize will be stripped of their power, and even their lives. From this we can see that God tends to evaluate and test an individual's strength. Clearly, this is a screening process to find the most powerful beings to represent him in carrying out what he desires, but in their own way. However, God does not want his existence to be exposed. The proof is that he took the life and power of Homeless Emperor before he could answer any of Zombie Man's questions about God. Additionally, God is truly a master at seizing opportunities and manipulating human psychology. Whenever there is a chance, he often appears before those in a state of despair and disguises himself as someone they love, if any, making them easily tempted by his offer. Homeless Emperor, Garou, and Psykos were all persuaded by him using similar methods. However, the most frightening thing about God is the immeasurable absolute power that he possesses. With the abilities of a transcendent entity, God can not only bestow power upon others and turn them into powerful monsters, but also invade their minds. That is just a small part of the many abilities that make God so formidable. But the most terrifying aspect is his ability to travel through time and space. According to Blast, God can completely transcend the barrier of space. His feet are said to be stepping out from mysterious clouds, like cracks in space itself. To begin exploring God's plan, let's look back at the goals of the three individuals who received power from God, why they were deemed worthy to receive power from this entity, and how it affected the plan that God has been building. The first known to receive God's power is none other than Homeless Emperor, a dragon-level threat of the Monster Association. Before receiving power from God, Homeless Emperor was just a worker, doing menial jobs to get by. From that difficult life, after being kicked out of his home and being mocked and insulted by everyone, he gradually nurtured a hatred for his misfortunes. It was from that resentment that he self-realized that his life, like that of everyone else, was insignificant compared to the greatness of the vast and beautiful world. With this new perception of the world, he gradually realized how humanity was becoming a scourge and the earth was being gradually destroyed by humans. The only way to escape this reality was to return to Mother Earth, which is death. However, after receiving power, Homeless Emperor found a new purpose in life. That was to save the earth from the impending doom of humanity. And his ultimate task was to exterminate all humans to liberate this planet and restore the natural balance. However, when holding that absolute power, Homeless Emperor also began to change. He gradually became arrogant and conceited, seeing himself as superior to everyone. He alone had the ability to defeat all S-class heroes. He also believed that everything human society had was inferior and deserved to be wiped out. This is understandable psychology for someone who had such an unfortunate life. Combined with good intentions, but misguided and negative execution methods, resonating with the terrifying, unparalleled power, it created the Homeless Emperor we saw. As evidenced by the fact that despite his confidence, Homeless Emperor admitted that without God's power, he would just be an ordinary human. He was clearly afraid when he mistakenly thought King had discovered his weakness by saying just an ordinary human to him. And he feared that if monsters like Black S realized that weakness, he would be in deep trouble. In the end, no matter how formidable he was, Homeless Emperor was still just an ordinary human with common fears like everyone else. Next is Psykos, a powerful Esper and Fubuki's old friend. Cunning, arrogant, and ruthless, yet sometimes childish and mischievous in personality. Therefore, the tactics she used in combat were unpredictable and meticulously calculated to suit each battle she participated in. Unlike Homeless Emperor, Psykos herself was already an extremely powerful Esper, and resonating with God's power only made her more confident in her own strength. She looked down on Tatsumaki and believed herself capable of becoming a supreme being. However, in the end, she was captured and defeated. Yet, something caused Psykos to become deranged and as ruthless as she is now. According to Fubuki, it stemmed from the future she foresaw. That was the destruction of humanity, which led her to establish the Monster Association. Finally, there is Garou, the hero hunter, once Bang's disciple expelled from the dojo due to his character. Garou was known to be a confident genius whose hatred was fueled by his deep resentment of heroes. This was influenced by his childhood when he was bullied by schoolmates in a play about heroes beating monsters. From there, his perception of life also gradually became distorted. Although a villain often seen as an evil demon, Garou still had his own moral standards, evident in how he only wanted to defeat heroes without killing them, or his willingness to protect a child from the Monster Association despite his own life. In a way, the absolute evil ideal that Garou pursued was not bad, just like Homeless Emperor. The way he executed and implemented it did not align with society's ethical standards. After receiving power from God, Garou became more determined to realize his ideal. Although he claimed to have tried to maintain his free will and not be controlled by God, both Bang and Blast realized that Garou's mind had been influenced by God as he became more cruel and ruthless than before. Through the three individuals who received power from God, we see a common thread that they all had distorted views of life, had unfortunate lives, and wanted to find a way to make the world a better place in their own way. However, the path and methods they chose always involved destruction, devastation, or more specifically, the annihilation of all humans and life on this planet to achieve the necessary change. Their common ground was nothing more than obliteration. Although starting with a noble ideal, the path they took was misguided, and this indirectly brought them closer to God, allowing him to exploit these effective pawns in his own game. Now let's get to God's actual goal. Let's recap a bit about the three individuals, Psykos, Homeless Emperor, and Garou. These were the three beings he bestowed power upon to manipulate and control them, aiming for the common goal of destruction. For Homeless Emperor, it was the destruction of humanity to allow the Earth to return to its true state. For Psykos, it was the madness of wanting to destroy humanity due to the future she foresaw. And for Garou, it was absolute evil, where without humans or any living beings, there would be no more injustice and humanity would achieve true peace. These were all good visions of the world they desired, but through a common method of destruction, and it coincidentally was also a necessary condition for God to take advantage of. Because perhaps what he truly wanted was to erase all existence so that he could become the sole being, or on a larger scale, to create a space where he could rule over everything. The evidence is that when Garou entered his cosmic form, Blast noted that the impact of his radiation could wipe out all life on the planet. That was also the moment when God was controlling him. It can be seen that God's clear intention was the destruction of the entire Earth. That is why God agreed with Homeless Emperor's belief that humanity is a worthless plague on an otherwise vast and beautiful planet. To him, the extermination of humans was just a small part of his grand plan. That is why those chosen to receive power were all unfortunate individuals who opposed society and had aspirations to create a new life, a world they had longed for. From those very desires, God would grant them power to do his bidding, wiping out the current world and creating a new order in his way. However, there is still a question that based on what we saw of the power of the three individuals when God bestowed it upon them, they did not seem capable of easily destroying the earth. This also means that God is truly far more powerful than them, and for this transcendent being to erase a small earth may not be too difficult. So why didn't he directly do it himself, instead of manipulating others to do it for him? We can put forth two hypotheses for this. First, God could not directly appear on Earth because he was being kept at bay by a barrier, preventing such God-level threats from approaching this place. This was also mentioned by Blast through the fact that he and his teammates had tried to push it out of the barrier. However, in passing through the space rift, Blast inadvertently allowed the cubes to gain access to Earth. Therefore, God used the Chosen Ones to destroy the Earth from within, making it easier for him to advance and control the Earth. The second possibility is that God himself is truly just a spiritual entity without a complete physical body, so directly appearing is not feasible. Coincidentally, the earth contained the perfect energy source for him to recreate his body, so he wanted to use the chosen ones to destroy this planet, paving the way for his rebirth. The above is my entire thought process on God's true plan. What do you think of this hypothesis? Leave a comment and let me know. Thank you, and see you again in the next videos.